All right, how are we, team? We've got a pretty fun rip here. Some old school stuff. As you guys probably know from other videos, 07 is my favorite draft class year, but this year we're ripping some 08. Seeing as there's we're getting knocking on the door of the 2024 NFL draft, why not come in a little early with some 08 draft picks. Yeah, I've never seen this product, never seen this box ripped, so it is an absolute gamble as to what it's going to be like. But there's some pretty cool players that came through in this draft. Some good running backs. I think I'm just going to take all these out. Trying to think who would be a notable. Joe Flacco came out in the 08 draft. Who else? Chris Johnson, who was an absolute animal of a running back when he came out in his rookie season. Yeah, there was a bunch of great players that came out this year. It wasn't such a bad draft. But let's kick into it. Quite a few packs in the box, so hopefully that doesn't mean that the product is too low quality, but we won't know. As I said, I've ripped none of it. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, I have no idea how these cards will be stacked in here. What uniforms? Vernon Golston, he was highly touted. Pulled up by the Jets in the first round, I'm pretty sure. I can't remember. I know he was pulled pretty high, possibly a top 10. Top 10. I'm guessing because these are draft picks. Usually the draft picks boxes are all in the college uniforms. Jonathan Stewart. I'm pretty sure he was a Carolina Panther running back. He was really good. Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. He was, I believe, a cornerback for the Cardinals. Ryan Terrain. Don't remember. Kenny Phillips. Felix Jones. Oh, man, these take me back. Frank Oakham. Oh, it looks like we've got an insert in here. Let's just go straight into it, see what it is. And it is Antoine Cason and John David Booty. Kind of cool clashes. Interesting card, I suppose. Kellen Clemens and DeMarcus Ware. That's a cool one. He was phenomenal talent. But I see he's in his Cowboys gear, so I guess not all of them are. Was he? I'm pretty sure he wasn't drafted in 08. I'm sure he was drafted earlier than that. Anyway, let's continue on. All right, who we got here? Andre Woodson, Quinton Demps, Craig Stelt, Martin Rucker, Devon Bess. A lot of these players I'm not sure of, actually. Anthony Mortelli. Don't know you, bro. We've got another one here. This is Quentin Groves and Chris Long. Okay, that's a cool card. That's a really cool card. Auburn, and I'm not sure what university Chris Long went to, but Chris Long certainly was a phenomenal player for the Rams. Quentin Groves, I'm pretty sure, went to the Chargers. It's kind of cool. A little insert there. We've got another one. Looks like Tom Brady and I can't read your name there, brother. Oh, Braylon Edwards. Okay, cool. Yeah, both Michigan boys. That's quite a cool card. Braylon Edwards was really talented. Didn't have the best hands though. Had a few drops, but he was quite a spectacular catcher. That's quite a cool card. Not numbered or anything. Alumni Association, both former Michigan players. Then we've got Bobby Ingram and David Garrard. Man, that's going back a bit. David Garrard is the quarterback for the Jags. I think there are chances of autos in this, but I'm not sure, so it's going to be a bit of a gamble as we go. Owen Schmidt. We've got Lavelle Hawkins. Aaron Henderson. Xavier Adibi. Rashad Mendenhall. He was a beast when he came out. Played for the Steelers. He was a great running back. Lawrence Jackson. Oh, there we go. Straight into an auto. Donnie Avery. Well, there you go. I guess we're not mucking around with that. Well, that's cool. Donnie Avery, wide receiver. I don't recall who Donnie Avery was drafted by. I don't think he was a high pick. Donnie Avery. Possibly a Ram? Possibly a Ram? Off the top of my head, it rings a bell. Donnie Avery Rams. Didn't go on to be anything phenomenal or great, but still a cool card nonetheless. What do we got in here? Franchise Foundations. Tashard Choice and Darren McFadden. Now, I don't remember Tashard Choice, but Darren McFadden was a running back drafted in the first round by the Raiders. So I'm guessing potentially, if it's Franchise Foundations, Tashard Choice was as well. But yeah, Darren McFadden might have been the highest drafted running back that year, actually. Wasn't quite as much of a phenom as Chris Johnson. Jamarcus Russell, yeah, also drafted by the Raiders, also a bust. And then Marion Barber, who was a great running back in the day. It's kind of cool. We're getting a stack of cards. What do you guys think of the product itself? I think it's, it's kind of nice for an old school card brand, pretty clean. Harry Douglas, DJ Hall, Sam Keller, Jack Ikegwuno, I don't remember him at all. Chris Long again, who we've spoken about. Vince Hall. Matt Ryan. Okay, there you go. So this was Matt Ryan's draft class. Awesome. That's quite a cool card to pick up in his college uniform. And then we've got here Campus Combos. Mario Aruda and Harry Douglas. Not players I'm familiar with. Still cool though. And then we've got Dwight Freeney, who was very, very good defensive end for the Colts. And Matt Leinart, who was another famous bust from the dirty old Cardinals. All right, let's go into the next one. Not here to muck around. Jonathan Goff. Malcolm Kelly. Oh, they're a little stuck together with the age. Matt Forte. Now, Matt Forte was a running back drafted by the Bears, and I picked him up in his rookie year for my fantasy team, and he was awesome. He was, yeah, great running back on a not too great team. John David Booty. Kellen Davis, Antoine Cason, and what have we got here? We've got a Conference Clashes. It is, hang on, is that 2 cards? Yeah, it is. It is Dennis Dixon and Keith Rivers. Oh yeah, Keith Rivers was a good player. I don't remember Dixon, but Keith Rivers was a cool player. Can't remember who he played for. Keith Rivers, he might have gone to the Chargers as well. Who have we got here? Derek Anderson. Oh, yep. And Steven Jackson. Oh, okay, cool. Alumni Association. So Derek Anderson was kind of had some real good play for the Browns, but didn't really amount to much. Wasn't consistent enough over the years. But Steven Jackson, however, was an absolute beast of a running back for the Rams. And then we've got Amani Tuma and Carson Palmer. Okay, so it looks like what they do is you get a whole bunch of your draft class at the front, then you get an insert or two, and then you get a couple of veteran players. So we get Bruce Davis, Chris Ellis, Philip Merlin, Sam Baker, Adrian Arrington, stuck a bit there, Frank Oakham, and then we have Pigskin Pairings. Insert. It is Antoine Cason and DeJohn Dribble. Don't remember Dribble at all, but I do remember Cason. And then we've got Darren McFadden and Mike Hart. And this is, it's hard to read some of these Pigskin Pairings as well. And then we've got a Brian Dawkins. He was an animal as a safety. And Derek Anderson again. So this wasn't a very expensive box. It was quite reasonably priced. And you know, it's not like the inserts or anything fantastic, but the cards themselves are quite clean, quite nice. Dewan Morgan, Alan Patrick, Sean Crabble, Glenn Dorsey. Now I'm pretty sure he was a high draft. He was certainly heavily touted. I'm trying to think. I think he might have gotten picked up by the Chiefs actually back in the day. Potentially a top 10 pick, though I couldn't tell you exactly where. Trevor Laws, Terrell Thomas. Oh, we've got another auto, Craig Stouts. I don't know who drafted Stouts, actually. It's not a player I remember. It's cool, though. Some of these random old autos. Down there, buddy. Quite cool. Then we've got our campus combos, Adam Spiker and Martin Rucker. Quite like those cards where they're both from the same alumni, same alma mater. Ted Ginn Jr. eventually became a Niner. And Sean Merriman. Sean Lights Out Merriman. Alright, what else we got in here? Martellus Bennett. Now he was a great player. I can't think who Martellus was drafted by. Lions or Jags off the top of my head, but that could be, I could be way off the money there. But he was a great player, quite good. Martellus Bennett. Who we got here? John Carlson. They're all a little bit stuck together. Dre Moore. Some cool old school names. If you've been watching the NFL for a long time, you'll recognize some of these names for sure. Gosta Chirilis. I'm sure he was a high pick as well, actually. I'm trying to think. Chirilis. Definitely rings bells, but I couldn't tell you where, unfortunately. Then we've got Marcus Monk. Jordy Nelson, famous wide receiver for the Packers. Thomas Brown. And then what have we got here? We've got Conference Clashes, it's called. And it's Chris Long versus Matt Ryan. That's quite a cool card. I quite like that. Two players that had great careers. Dallas Clark. Here's a beast of a tight end for the Colts while Manning was there. And Warwick Dunn, running back. case. We've got a couple of autos, and we've got some cards of some cool players, which is kind of neat. Ben Moffat, Paul Smith, Jacob Hester, Jacob Tammy, Mario Manningham, Josh Johnson, and then what have we got in here? It is a alumni association. It is Matt Ryan and Dewan Dribble. Don't know Tribble, but obviously Matt Ryan was the man in Atlanta for a long time. And then we've got Franchise Foundations, Early Doucette and Lima Swede. Doucette was around for a while. I don't remember Swede. We've got Dwayne Bowe and Clinton Portis. I was a big fan of Clinton Portis back in the day. And Dwayne Bowe was the #1 man in Kansas City, probably back around this time. #1 receiver. All right, into the next one. We've got Kentwan Barmer, Darren McFadden again, Tashard Choice. Who did Choice go to? I can't think who drafted Choice. Mario Urrutia, James Hardy, there's Early Doucette, and here we've got an auto, Kenny Phillips. That's quite a cool one. I'm trying to think where Kenny Phillips was drafted. I think potentially a Giant. Bear with me, I'm just trying to shift some of these cards. I've got a big stack of cards over here, so just trying to tidy that up. Kenny Phillips, yeah, I think possibly a safety for the Giants. It's a cool card in the Miami University kit. It's kind of cool having these. I've never really been a fan of the university kit, but I'm kind of liking them with the autos. Then we've got the conference clashes between Jonathan Hefney and DJ Hall. Yeah, the inserts are okay. They're nothing fantastic. Jarius Norwood and Nnamdi Asomugha. Nnamdi Asomugha was actually an awesome player. He was like, back in probably about 2008, he was, you know, like one of the top cornerbacks in the league. All right, Brian Brom, Justin King, Keenan Burton. Oh, almost took two. Colt Brennan, Dewan Tribble, sorry. There's Matt Flynn, and this one looks to be different. It's not numbered, but it's just got the red. Ali Highsmith. And then, what is this? Draft edition of Alumni Association, John David Booty and Fred Davis. And you've got Tony Romo and Torrey Holt. Torrey Holt was a beast. Tony Romo was, well, a cowboy. And much like is becoming tradition now, he couldn't win playoff games. He played well during the regular season, but could not do it. Jake Long. Now, Jake Long may have been the top dog that draft. If he wasn't #1, he must have been like #2 or something. Jake Long was, I can't remember, I think a Dolphin? 2008. Yeah, I think he was drafted by the Dolphins. It might have been #1 overall. Then we've got Dorian Bryant, Jamal Charles. He went on to be quite a good running back for Kansas City until he got hurt. Earl Bennett, Dan Connor. Oh yeah, he was quite a good linebacker. Steve Slayton. And what do we got here? This one looks quite cool. Alumni Association. We've got Colt Brennan And I can't read your name. Devon Bess. I need to sort my lighting out, I think. It's not quite up to par. Then we've got, what is this one? A Pigskin Pairings of Steve Slayton and Pat Rice. Then we've got Reggie Nelson and Steve McNair, who was obviously in Baltimore prior to Flacco, who turned up in this draft. So I haven't picked up any of the draft picks I was hoping to. Calais Campbell, he went to the Cardinals. He's an absolute beast, like 6'8" or something ridiculous. He was, actually he's played up until recently, I think. Jay Lewin, Deshaun Jackson, who went to the Eagles. Awesome talent, a bit arrogant, but yeah, great wide receiver. AJ Highsmith, Thomas Brown. Oh, we've got a redemption. That's gross. Darius Bowman. It looks, that's horrible. Yeah, so we've got a, congratulations, a reservation for one trading card will be made in your name when you submit your request. Well, I'm guessing this is potentially a dead card. Maybe it may not be good for anything because it's been so long since this, but I'll have to have a look and check it out. Now we've got the campus combos, Vince Hall and Xavier Adibi, Chris Conley, who was tight end, and Antoine Winfield for the Vikes. Damn, that's not really, you don't really want to get a redemption in these old decks. Probably not even worth the card it's printed on, but that's fine. Philip Wheeler, Keith Rivers. He might have been Bengals, you know. I think I said earlier that he was Chargers, but I think he might have been Bengals. Eric Ainge, Matt Ryan again, Jonathan Henney, Donnie Avery, and we've got the Vols, Jonathan Hefney and Eric Ainge from Tennessee. And then we've got the conference clashes, yep, of Keith Rivers, and I can't even read your name, Dennis Dixon, oh yeah. And then Deshaun Foster and Reggie Brown. Man, these cards of the old vets are quite cool. Now, there's a few cards in here I'm happy about getting. There's certain rookies I was hoping to get. I would have loved to have gotten like a Chris Johnson or a Ray Rice auto. That would have been cool. Justin Forsett, Derek Harvey, Chad Henne, Ray Rice. Well, there's Ray Rice. No auto, but still, that's quite cool. I'm quite glad to have gotten that. Lima Swede, Fred Davis, and we've got Dre Moore is our auto. Where were you drafted, Mr. Moore? I can't for the life of me remember. That's right. Well, I'm guessing there's a chance we may not get much in this last box, and as we've had 4 autos and 1 redemption. What's this? Pigskin Pairings. We've got Glenn Dorsey and Kenton Barmer. It's quite a cool card. Some of these inserts are actually been pretty cool with the players they have on them. Steven Jackson and Aaron Campman. All right, final pack of this 2008 Upper Deck. We have Tom Zbikowski, Mike Hart, oh there he is, Joe Flacco. So we've got a Joe Flacco and a Ray Rice, both Ravens players drafted this year. There's Dennis Dixon again, Shivas Jackson, Mike Jenkins, Jonathan Hefney, and we have Our Franchise Foundations, Dan Connor and Ali Highsmith. Do we have another one in there? No. Then we've got Michael Clayton and our final card, Brandon Marshall, who was the man in Denver. All right, guys. Well, of all of that, we've pulled a lot of cards. I think my favorite insert would have to be possibly the Tom Brady one, the double Michigan. Let me see if I can find that, so we don't have to go through them all. That one's quite cool. Steven Jackson, Derek Anderson. I think it was right. Yeah, this one here. Tom Brady and Braylon Edwards is probably my favorite card of the box. We've got a couple of cool old school autos. I think all in all, given the fact that it was a cheap box, just for a bit of a nostalgic rip, you know, I got a Joe Flacco and a Ray Rice in there, which is quite cool, even though Ray Rice ended his career by beating his wife, which was horrible. He was a beast of a running back. But, yeah, the Joe Flacco is quite cool. Let me know what you think. Not bad for an old school rip, I think.